Hi, it's Scott Allen, and let's have a look at what's been happening in rugby this week. Brought to you by theraw.com.au, Australia's largest sports opinion website. First up, Ireland hosted Samoa, who went into the match ranked 7, one higher than Ireland, and yet this is their only match on the end-of-year tour against a Tier 1 nation. That's got to change if we want to see real development in these smaller nations. Samoa led in their Siva Tau by Brian Lima, paying tribute to rugby legend Peter Fatialofa, who died this week, aged only 54. The injury gods weren't kind to Samoa around this match. They went in without 5 of their best players and then lost another 3 during the match. The try that really broke it open for Ireland included this fabulous piece of skill from Brian O'Driscoll. Ireland eventually went away in the second half to win the match 40 points to 9. After O'Driscoll's fabulous piece of skill, it was Sean O'Brien who came off the bench to score this crucial try. But the best of Ireland's tries came late in the match when Dave Carney, younger brother of Rob, scored his second for the match after a turnover deep in Irish territory.
They might just have turned that one over, and they have. Here comes Madigan. He's still going, Madigan. Chance in this narrow side. There's a 3-1 here. Redden has to give it. He does give it. Here's Carney with the brother outside him. And he gives it to Rob, and Rob gets it back inside to Redden. Redden checks inside. Oh, he's done it again. A second try for Dave Carney.
The Wallabies scored 7 tries against Italy, including 2 to Nick Cummins. This one, set up by Quade Cooper, was a special. Cooper had the Italians baffled, and probably a few of his teammates as well, but once he sucked the defence in, it was a great offload to Cummins. And just to show that it's not only backs that can come up with great offloads, Stephen Moore set Joe Tamani away for a 50-metre run to the try line with a beautiful offload out the back of the hand. When France hosted the All Blacks, it was Charles Piutau that came up with a great offload to put Kieran Reid in for a try, and the All Blacks juggernaut rolls on.
Charles Piutau, look at this from that angle. Wow!
Earlier in the match, it was Corey Jane who nearly came up with a miracle. On first glance, it looks like he's well out, but when you look at the end-on shot, there was only a very small margin between this being a try and being a knock-on over the line. This try from South Africa against Wales was a great mixture of skill and power. Habana sees forwards in front of him and takes them on, creates the line break. He's backed up by Du Plessis, who powers down the middle and rumbles over the top of the covering defence before offloading to de Villiers, who goes in for a great team try. And unfortunately, trying to tackle Du Plessis in full flight is an injury waiting to happen. Before suffering a bad shoulder injury later in the match, Jonathan Davis produced a great line break, but it was set up by the line from Lee Halfpenny. Let's go back and have a look at how it worked. Davis is going to cross in front of Halfpenny. Halfpenny will be the outside option. Both runners are options to receive the ball, and in Australia most of us know this as a roach, which is basically the opposite of a blocker. Which player gets the ball depends on how the defence react to the line. Whilst there was some great skill on show this week, a real blight on the game was scrums in just about every match. When the Wallabies played Italy, there were 15 scrums decided in the match that weren't reset, and 12 of them were decided by either a penalty or a free kick awarded by the referee. 9 of those went against the Wallabies and 3 against the Italians. In Paris it was a very similar story. There were 12 scrums decided in the match, and in 9 of those the referee found a penalty or a free kick, although on a couple of occasions he did allow advantage and it was play on. The French and All Black packs did have some excuse, with the ground tearing up terribly, to the point where it was almost too dangerous to be scrummaging on a surface like that. We saw similar problems with the surfaces in Wales and Scotland. It's very hard to have a fair contest when players can't maintain their feet due to the ground going out from underneath them. France really came hard at the All Blacks late in the second half, and after several penalties and resets, in the last minute they had a scrum feed where they needed to score a converted try to tie the match up. The French had established dominance in this scrum by this stage, but for some reason the French flanker decided he'd better use his hand rather than his foot to help the ball back. Jaco Piper didn't miss it and awarded the All Blacks a penalty which cost the French their final chance to level the match up. It wasn't a good week for scrummaging. There were too many resets, penalties and time wasted in all of the matches. At Millennium Stadium, Alain Roland had to put up with both Wales and South Africa continually going down. There's no doubt the surface probably didn't help, but it was very difficult to work out who was at fault, and eventually Roland got to the point where he wouldn't put up with any more. He warned both sides clearly that there would be a yellow card issued.
5! Set!
This time it goes to Wales. And the referee wants a word with Gethin Jenkins and France.
Penalty was against you on this occasion, against you the last time. If it goes down again on this side, you're both going off. I'm going to get somebody else on. Understood?
Good, thank you.
Oosthuizen then came on as a replacement, but Roland warned him very clearly that there would be a continuation of the team warning re a yellow card.
He's on for the new cap,
There's a team
France
warning on this side of the
Malherbe.
scrum. Yeah. Okay, then if I have any messing between the two of you, both of you are going off, even though you've just arrived. So it's a continuation, just to remind you, okay?
Malherbe.
Crouch! Let's go! 5! Set!
Oh, it's gone down that side.
Yeah, he's
He's
going to
gonna do
do
it.
both of them, isn't he?
He's going to do both of them.
Two of you, off you go. And you, off you go. You're going to look up. Time off.
Have Wales got a fit prop to come back on now? Because Scott Andrews has gone off on Adam Jones.
Well, if they haven't, they'll go to uncontested. It is very unfortunate for Oosthuizen, who's not the principal architect of that. However, when you're warned...
Unfortunately, that led to uncontested scrums, but as Brian Moore said on the coverage, they were warned.